Hey guys, Shivai and good day. So, I thought I'd talk a little about my 2018 ET contact experience. So, what happened in 2018? Good question. So, it was September the 11th, 2018. And this is the most bizarre story you'll ever hear in your life. It's got to go up there as one of the most bizarre. Mind you, as soon as you get into ET contact stories, they're all bizarre, I tell you. Some good book to read, Communion by Whitley Strieber. There's the movie on YouTube, Communion. Yeah. Anyway, so it all gets very weird. Very, very weird as we get into extraterrestrial contact experiences. So it was the morning of September the 11th, 2018, and I think it was a Monday or Tuesday, or something like this. It was a day of the week because I was supposed to be working, doing one of my gardening jobs for one of my gardening clients, and I just got a strong urge not to go to work that day, one of the bonuses of being self-employed, so I messaged them and said, sorry, can't make it today. And got to follow your excitement, guys. And so I went to the forest and I was going to make some videos about September the 11th because I used to be into like 9/11 conspiracies, and we don't really need to go there anymore, I don't think. We just focus on creating the reality we prefer. I think it's much more powerful we focus on extraterrestrial contact. And so, cute river, maybe we can go sit by this waterfall for a bit. Nice little spot. And so you notice how I always end up by, or I very often end up by like nice water places when I'm making the videos about extraterrestrial contact. We get a bit better sun directioning here as well. So yeah, so I went to the forest and I did make some videos about 9/11. They never got released on my YouTube channel due to what happened after this to come. And so I went deeper into the forest and I was sat on this like bushcraft place. Like they got this little campsite for kids where they teach them bushcraft and stuff hidden away in the forest that I discovered, and I used to go there and chill out sometimes. So I was sat on this log and all of a sudden my frequency started going like really high. Like I was thinking of a friend, a female friend from Glastonbury. I don't know how she's somehow connected, but she somehow seemed to activate this energy in me. And well, I think it's more to do with the approaching interdimensional extraterrestrial spacecraft. And so my frequency began to go really high, and I recognized the frequency, I recognized the energy from, just went 333 on the phone, I noticed that's my number connected to all this. Long story, I don't think I'll go into that here, but I had lots of numbers in synchronicity with my birthday in December the 21st, 2012, and all sorts of stuff with threes. And 3 is Bashar's number. And so that's why they have the triangle craft. And so yeah, my frequency began to go really high frequency. And I began to feel amazing. Trust me guys, like ascension, like everything we're going through at the minute, like all the ups and downs, the rockiness, it's going to be worth it to reach this frequency ultimately that the ETs exist on and we can access in our reality, it seems. So we're heading to a very blissful place. And so yeah, I recognized the frequency. See, I had this experience in 2009 where I suspected I'd had extraterrestrial contact, and I had a massive awakening experience into bliss and euphoria. But I don't really remember anything about extraterrestrial contact in 2009, but I strongly suspected I'd had it because I became telepathically connected to the ETs and able to channel after that experience. And somehow I knew ETs were real after this 2009 experience, even though I don't really know what happened to me that day. Very strange. Somehow it's lodged in my subconscious again. Maybe I can unlock those memories somehow, even all these years later. So, but I recognize this energy, it's very specific frequency. I can't really talk about it now because I can't remember it because I'm not in it. But it was a very high frequency energy. And it's got a specific flavor to it though. It wasn't just joy, wasn't just happiness, wasn't just bliss, wasn't just ecstasy, wasn't just oneness. It had a very specific flavor to it and an essence, an energy that I very distinctly remember. And I guess this was the energy, the frequency, the vibration of the Yahyel civilization. And so back to 2018, September the 11th in the morning, weekday morning, around 10 a.m. I'm making there's lots of videos on my YouTube, on my Facebook channel. I did lots of Facebook Lives after this event talking about it. So check out Facebook Live starting September the 11th, 2018, and you'll see some very funny videos. The first one was right after the event, and I was kind of freaking out. My frequency was like crazy. And so yeah, I recognized this energy. It was very blissful, very euphoric, most amazing I've ever felt in my life, these 2 times. And so it'd be nice to be able to feel like that all the time again. And I can kind of feel the energy now, actually, because we're coming up to September again, and it's 4 years on, and I feel like I might be having some sort of experience again this month. Who knows? And so yeah, next thing I know, I'm like going all like multidimensional. I'm going like, I can literally see multidimensionally. I feel like I've turned into a superhuman. Like all these stories about like superheroes and people with superpowers, they're all true, guys. I can tell you now, they're like stories that have filtered down from more enlightened ages on Earth, where people could do all sorts of magical stuff. And because I felt like my body shifted into a different dimension of reality. It felt like I was no longer relying on like food for energetic sustenance. It felt like I was tapping like source consciousness directly. Perhaps this is how breatharians do it, how pranic living people do it. Like there's a lot of people, or some people, that claim to be not eating food anymore on this planet, and so I'm sure they're tapping into this same energy field, this same energy source that I tapped into on this day, September 11th, back in 2018, as the ET ship approached, which I didn't know was happening at the time. I now understand that that's what was occurring. And so I started to see multidimensionally. I felt like I had superpowers. I felt like, maybe I'd turn this way, out the wind, shelter the camera from the wind. I felt like I felt like I could like download Kung Fu, like Neo in the Matrix. Maybe this is where this comes from, like in Neo in the Matrix. I felt like I intuitively had access to all information in creation, which is exactly what happened in the previous experience in 2009. It's like the channeling goes up to a new level, like a massive new, like a whole octave higher or something, where it feels like I'm directly plugged into the very essence of creation itself. And all information is available to me, but only information that is relevant for me. I said this in the older videos. I couldn't like download like which horse is going to win the next race in the Derby and like bet loads of money gambling. It's like, I mean, maybe I could. I need to play with that, but it's not what it felt like. It felt like I had access to infinite information, but we can only access what's relevant for us for that experience in that moment. So it's not quite. And so I felt like I was downloading Kung Fu, like martial arts. I need to get back on this. I need to be working on my physique, my physical health, so maybe I can do some more of this. But the energy is so strong. The minute you start doing it, like it can really like fry your nervous system if you're not careful. So you've got to like really play with this bit to bit. So I've been working on my like physical health moment to moment since. And so yeah, next thing I know, I'm seeing multidimensionally. I feel like my frequency is going through the roof. I remember I actually had the thought, I need to contact David Wilcock and tell him about this, because this is so incredible. And this was before the experience, so it gives you some idea, because I don't normally have these kind of ideas, and maybe I should still contact David Wilcock. He's very, very busy. It's kind of hard to get hold of him, I think. I think he gets overloaded by all the emails and stuff. And so yeah, I started to see multidimensionally. I remember I was looking into this bush. I was looking down, kind of down into this bush. I was like, whoa, I can see multidimensionally. And I believe this is because the Yahyel were approaching, getting closer, and I was acclimatizing to their frequency. And Bashar said that, like before, like someone asked Bashar, like, how do you see us in reality? And Bashar says, we see you as an array of potential possibilities. Bizarre, eh? We see you an array of potential future possibilities. And so this was kind of, and so I assume the Yahyel see the same. And so this is how I began to see, but my own life. And I saw my own life as an array, like lots of lots of different potential realities, like spread out in front of me, multidimensionally, according to the experiences, like according to the choices I made. It makes me think, like, guys, because so sometimes you hear, like, you don't hear so much anymore, but like people have had an awakening experience, and they say, like, I've reached the ultimate enlightenment, and there's nothing greater in reality, and like you can tell, like their vibrational frequency is like so much lower than the extraterrestrials, like it's a complete another reality. I don't think they have any idea, to be honest. so like the ETs, like you actually see, I don't know, maybe they see multidimensionally, they just don't talk about it. And so yeah, it's completely different existence. You begin to become like a multidimensional being, and like literally see like you don't see like this human reality anymore, like we just see like one thing at a time, don't we, like what we look on. But as you evolve, you enter a multidimensional state of consciousness where you can see many realities parallel all at the same time. And so I'm seeing multidimensionally. I'm seeing that what choices I make in the day will determine my outcome. And I think this is where it gets hazy, and this is where the missing time puts in, and my mind goes blank, and I don't consciously remember what happened. I think I started having the thought, whoa, I can choose a reality where I can make extraterrestrial contact. And you can sense me tuning into the vibration of that experience. Hello, hello, hello. It's not, whoa, I can see a potential future reality where I have an extraterrestrial contact experience today. And then the next thing I know, like, so 1 minute I'm kind of like looking into a bush. Like, no, let's find a bush. There's a bush over here, guys. Not too different from the bush in the forest. It was a bit denser. I was in dense forest. But we'll go and replay it in the bush. So I was looking down into so it was away from the sun though, so I need to go and find a different bush. So okay, we can't find the right, but you get the idea. So here we have a bush in the shade, in the shadow. And I'm looking down into the bush and I'm seeing multidimensionally. And the next thing I know, I'm like, the lighting has changed completely, and I'm stood in a prone position, like straight up. Before I was kind of crouched over in the normal human posture that I partake in, and most of us do. Next thing I know, I'm in a perfect prone position with my arms out like this, stood up like very erect and very vertically. The last time I experienced this was when I fell off a mountain climbing without ropes, and by some miracle I landed on a ledge, and I was in this same prone position. So I wonder if like I got interjected in my reality again then, and like angels or something like said, no, now's not your time to die, so we're just gonna rewire this bit where you fell off and died and smashed your head to pieces. Well, that's a nice thought, isn't it, guys? Sorry about that. And we're going to reinsert you on this ledge, and you're only going to have a broken foot, which was the situation that happened. And so the next thing I know, like I'm looking at, the lighting's all different, and I seem to be in a different place, and like the lighting's all different. Like I'm looking at, before I was facing away from the sun, and now I seem to be facing towards the sun. Like it's just like this, the sun was up there to the right, and I'm prone. And then I become aware that there's deafening fighter jets like flying around my head, like out of nowhere. So this is a blink in time, perfect peace in the forest, to like in an instantaneous. It's hard to get your head around this, isn't it, guys? Because it doesn't make sense to the physical mind. So I've literally like kind of teleported somehow into a different place in the forest, different lighting, and there's fighter jets all around my head that weren't there a instantaneous split second earlier. And my frequency has gone even higher. I'm in this incredible state of euphoria, bliss, oneness. I feel like I'm one with all of creation, connected to everything in physical reality. And the fighter jets flying around my head, and I'm stood here like this, and I'm like, something profound has happened here. I didn't say this, I'm thinking in my head, and it's to do with me, and I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's to do with me. I know I'm the focal point of this, and that's why the fighter jets are here. And then over a few seconds, my consciousness came back to sort of normal state, normal-ish. I was in this crazy, blissful, euphoric state of euphoria. And yeah, and I become aware, I start realize, oh, I think I've just had an ET contact experience, because I've been trying to work towards this. If you've been following my channel for years, you know I'm passionate about this, and this is my highest excitement. And so I realized I had a contact experience. And then I realized I needed to stay out of fear, because I had this intuitive knowing that because I was in such a high vibrational state, if I let myself slip into fear, I could create a negative reality for myself vibrationally through the law of attraction. And who knows what might happen due to the fact that I'm like in the woods and I've just had contact with aliens, and there's fighter jets all flying around my house, and I'm being swarmed by the military. And you can imagine how you could slip into fear from all the movies, subconscious programming for movies and stuff. And so I realized I had to keep my vibrational state as high as possible. And so I realized the best way to do that was to, and I was also kind of nervous, and I wanted to attract attention to myself, because I was like, I haven't done anything wrong, I've just had contact with aliens, you guys are the ones that pestering me, like come and tell me I'm doing wrong, like military guys in fighter jets. And I was kind of very bold, because I had the Yahyel consciousness in me and still. So I decided the best thing to do was to start singing pop songs at the top of my voice in the forest. Because I knew not too far away there'd be dog walkers, and I kind of wanted to attract attention to myself to make myself safer. And I also felt like by singing pop songs at the top of my voice, I would raise my vibrational frequency and take control of it. I felt like I needed to take control of the situation vibrationally, not let them idiots in the fighter jets, just doing their job, guys, but they kind of think they're the boss, don't they? Well, you ain't the boss, guys. The ETs are the boss, and we don't give a crap about your military infrastructure. And I shouldn't say shit like that. Whoa, I'm getting tangled up, see here. And so yeah, well, we could go this way. I seem to be going this way. And so I start singing, I think I started singing Jason Donovan. I am the one and only, nobody I'd rather be. Boom, boom, boom. And I could feel when I was singing, it was actually affecting my environment. It was like my aura had expanded for like a mile or two. And like by singing, I could feel that the molecules and the particles within the trees were resonating on the frequency of the pop song I was singing. And also I was encompassing the fighter jets that weren't too far away, because they kept swooping down on me. I couldn't see them because there was cloud cover and forest cover. I mean, I sure as heck hear them. I think there's some like kind of radar plane there as well or something. And they go around and they swoop down. They were doing this, going, kind of turning so they could come close to me. Of course, they weren't like a helicopter, so they were finding it difficult. And yes, it was all crazy. It was deafening, like over this little wood that's not normally nice and calm. And yeah, and I felt like the vibrational frequency of me singing was also encompassing the frequency of the fighter jets and like uplifting them into the euphoric state. So I think the fighter jet guys kind of started experiencing euphoria as well. And then eventually they flew off, and I started walking around the forest, and I couldn't find my way out the forest. I felt like I was being kept there, and they kept coming back every like 10-15 minutes. They'd like circle around the area a few miles away, 10 miles away, then come back, and this went on for a couple of hours. And at some point I sat down on a log. Much as the energy is. And I sat on this log, and I began, and I connected to the ET ship very telepathically. It was like I was in this dark space, but there were many Yahyel there, and I had a short communication with them. They were actually kind of communicating that they were kind of not happy with me because of the way I'd been portraying them, that they were kind of like a deeply sacred spiritual civilization that regards every being in creation deeply sacred. And like my channeling hadn't been that spot on in the past, and like I kind of made just kind of fun thing about it, and they were kind of like, there was no judgment and there's unconditional love for me, I could sense, but they were kind of like, I was like, oh, sorry guys, I'll try and do better in future. It was kind of like this. And eventually I found my way out the forest, got in my car and sped off. I was kind of nervous because all of these military jets around, that the military had gone, like, sent out some military personnel to capture me and take me to the base for questioning or something. So I got in my car and like basically sped off down like this 5 mile an hour track. And I wasn't going that fast, but like 30 miles an hour, so it was a bit dangerous, but like I was like zoom, like past all these old ladies that are gathered for their morning walk. It was like obviously like Women's Institute ladies group daily walk or something. So there's a lot more people there than usual, and then like I sped through the car park, just didn't look at them, and I drove straight into the city, into Lincoln City, and pulled up at a gas station and made a Facebook Live, which you can view. And so if you'd like to have some of these experiences yourself, guys, and you'd like to learn to channel extraterrestrials, I have a Learn to Channel course. It's called Channeling Telepathy and Extraterrestrial Contact, starting September the 3rd, in 2 days, no, possibly in 1 day. I don't know when this video will go live, but this coming Saturday. And I'd like to see you there, guys. So it's for all levels. You don't have to be experienced in channeling. Beginner, novice, expert, complete beginner. You're all welcome, whether you know anything about this or you're quite experienced. It's all just a lot of fun, and we will be accelerating contact and interdimensional channeling this September. So check out the link in the box below, guys, if you'd like to experience this for yourselves and learn to channel and learn telepathic contact. See you in there perhaps, guys. Shivai.